The Lake Orion community came out to honor those who fought and died for our country with multiple ceremonies, a parade, and even a 5K race on Memorial Day. Downtown Lake Orion was bustling with activity during the Orion Art Center's Art and Flower Fair. The arrival of warm weather means car buffs are uncovering their classic beauties. Golling GMC hosted their first cruise of the summer, and it benefited a great cause. And 539 members of Lake Orion High School's class of 2023 walked across the stage at Pine Knob during an emotional ceremony. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. I'll have those stories and more on this edition of ONTV News. 3 years after the Civil War ended, the Grand Army of the Republic established Decoration Day as a time for the nation to decorate the graves of the war dead with flowers. Today, those who fought and died for our country in all U.S. conflicts since then are now honored on Memorial Day. Here in Lake Orion, the day was observed with numerous ceremonies and events. On the morning of Monday, May 29th, well over 400 runners and walkers gathered in downtown Lake Orion for the 7th running of the Orion Veterans Memorial Day 5K. It was the largest turnout in the race's history. The start-finish line was set up near Children's Park, and at 9 a.m., runners and walkers taking part in the 5-mile race began their journey.
Good luck, everybody. 5K, we got 10 minutes.
Then about 10 minutes later, those taking part in the 5K run were given the go-ahead.
Get set and go. The gun didn't work.
The course took participants out onto Pink Creek Trail toward Clarkson Road, where they turned around and headed back to the finish line on Anderson Street. Crossing the finish line first was Eric Berg of Shelby Township, who took part in the 5-mile course. The 20-year-old finished with a time of 28:01.6.
You know, our veterans have made such a great sacrifice for us to enjoy the freedoms that we have, especially the freedom to run. That's something that I just delight in and just enjoy so much, is running. And I'm grateful that our veterans have created that opportunity for me.
The first 5K runner to finish was 16-year-old Anthony Goethley of Madison Heights. He finished with a time of 18:30.7.
Course was great. The path was really nice and dense. Felt a little longer than I thought it would be. Other than that, it was a good race.
What brought you out today? Why did you want to take part in this race today?
Last year, one of my friends introduced me to the race, and then I have to be in the parade with my Boy Scout troop after this.
Race fees and sponsorships allowed organizers to raise more than $10,000 for the maintenance and upkeep of the Orion Veterans Memorial. It was the first time in the event's history they passed that amount.
The atmosphere is very exciting, especially with how many participants we have this year. So I am excited, they're excited, and like I said earlier, we couldn't have a more perfect day for this. This has become a tradition for people in our community. So what better way to start your Memorial Day off than celebrating our veterans and our beautiful memorial, than participating in the race here, followed by the parade downtown.
When we first talked about, this was an idea at the Veterans Memorial Board, which I've served on since I've been the supervisor. We talked about a way to try to get younger people and more of the community involved. We have a great tradition here with the VFW and the American Legion and the wreath ceremony and the parade and, of course, the annual ceremony at the memorial. But we wanted to try to liven up the crowd a little bit and make sure that our next generation remembers and really understands what this day is about. And I kind of joke all the time, it's not about eating hot dogs and tubing on the lake, although that's really important. The reason we're able to do that is because of the sacrifice that the people that came before us have made. So to see this become a great event with families and kids and everybody wearing red, white, and blue, and the flags, I'm looking at Jim Hubbard who's here, it's incredible. This is what we dreamt of, and to see it to become a reality it's one of the really special things about our community.
While runners were getting underway in downtown Lake Orion, a small group gathered at East Lawn Cemetery off Orion Road for the first of several ceremonies honoring those who lost their lives defending our country. Prior to the ceremony, American flags were placed at the graves of the veterans buried at East Lawn. American Legion Post 233 Commander Steve Hawkswell led the ceremony, and Auxiliary President Sandy Boyd placed a wreath at the World War Veterans Monument. The ceremony concluded with a gun salute and the playing of taps. At 10 a.m., a similar ceremony took place in Children's Park in downtown Lake Orion. This time, a wreath was dropped into the waters of Paint Creek to honor those who lost their lives at sea.
We had a lot of folks who were kind of never coming back into this little town. One family had 3 that were gone. And this, our little town, we love what we have here. We love our veterans. And I've been here since 1947, and we have always honored our veterans and those who have given their life. As we said, this is it. This is what we get, and this is why we have this wonderful, beautiful nation of the United States.
At 11 a.m., residents lined the streets of downtown Lake Orion for the start of the Memorial Day Parade. The police department's 1941 police car led the way, with retired Reserve Commander Dave Mercu behind the wheel. His passenger was 2023 honored veteran Bob Mahan of the U.S. Navy. Following the vintage Ford were community groups and scouts, as well as the 338th Army Band out of Livonia, Michigan. The newly added Bike Brigade was a hit with the crowd. They were followed by numerous military vehicles, and the Lake Orion High School Marching Band brought up the rear as the parade came to an end. At 1 p.m., things were bustling at the Orion Veterans Memorial as veterans, dignitaries, and members of the community gathered for the annual Memorial Day ceremony. Board Chair Dr. Joseph Mastromateo welcomed those in attendance and introduced the presenters, including Lieutenant Colonel Cynthia Wright of the U.S. Air Force, who gave the Memorial Day address.
It's a day all Americans should take a moment out of their day to honor the more than 1.1 million men and women who made this ultimate sacrifice for our country. The majority of those that had died, the 1.1 million, were certainly men, but I wanted to mention that women have been killed in every conflict or war since the Civil War. And since 9/11 and the global war on terrorism, 160 women have died in combat in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. I think that's a fact that nobody knows about.
Dr. Mastromateo also introduced 2023's honored veteran Bob Mahan, who served with the U.S. Navy.
I feel that when we take our oath of office, for the United States military, I looked it up and it said that there is no time limit on that. So I feel I should be here serving my fellow veterans. Our motto is we honor their dead by serving the living, the ones that are under your feet right here in this memorial. And I thank you for that. And I'm going to be serving our community to make it a better place to live in. Thank you for this honor.
Following the placing of the wreath by Cynthia Wright, veterans took turns reading the names of those with Lake Orion roots who lost their lives during all U.S. conflicts, from the Civil War to Operation Enduring Freedom.
We will now go to the Vietnam veterans. Raymond I. Whipley. John A. Wood. Operation Freedom. Raymond J. Holwar. Operation Enduring Freedom. Trevor Blaylock. That will be it.
As the school year comes to an end, Lake Orion High School's class of 2023 began looking ahead to the next phase of their lives. On the evening of Tuesday, June 6th, 539 members of Lake Orion High School's senior class walked across the stage at Pine Knob for their commencement ceremony. It was a bittersweet moment as the graduates said goodbye to fellow classmates, teachers, and staff, and celebrated the end of their high school years. During the ceremony, there were moving speeches and performances. Here are some of the highlights.
Your next adventure awaits. I hope you will embrace it with great strength and courage. There is a quote from historical maps that says, "Beyond this place, there be dragons." The meaning was intended to be a warning and fear of the unknown, but today we all know better. Dragons are nothing to be feared, but they are fiercely loyal, competitive yet kind, learners, leaders, and difference makers. And let's be clear, Lake Orion will always be Dragon Country. Lake Orion High School will always be home of the Dragons, and graduates, once a dragon, always a dragon.
While working with teams, I've emphasized 3 areas to reach one's best self, and these are fitting for you as you attack your next steps. 1, attack your tasks and goals with a great attitude. You and you alone choose your attitude each day. 2nd, attack your tasks and goals with your best effort. You change the world simply by being part of it. 3rd, be a great teammate. Be supportive and empathetic of the beliefs and needs of others. As graduates, you did some level of all 3 of these to get through this school year with joy and success. Whether you're moving on to the military, learning a skilled trade, vying for over 2,000 jobs that will be filled at the GM Orion plant, or moving on to college, you have the foundation to be successful.
Even though their journey was full of dreams and disappointments, we are grateful for all the moments and all the people that brought us here. Gracias, mamá, papá, y abuelos. Todo fue por ustedes. Thank you, moms, dads, and grandparents. Everything was for you. We all overcame unforeseen difficulties. We went through all sorts of ups and downs, some that have never been seen before, from experiencing the unknowns of COVID, unspoken hardships, and even losing loved ones. I know everyone here has had their difficulties and have gone through great pains. Now that we've looked back, look at us now. We're here right now, on this day, stronger and bigger than ever, with the world at our fingertips. Looking ahead, I'll admit I'm nervous and maybe a little scared for what life has waiting for me. But the future isn't something we enter. The future is something we create. And when I look out into this crowd, I see a bright future full of hope and change.
As we officially wrap up being current Lake Orion High School Dragons, we will embark on a new journey. That can include pursuing a higher education, trade school, taking a gap year, traveling, or simply not knowing what you're going to tomorrow, which is okay. For me, that's the mechanical engineering school at the University of Michigan. Go Blue! No matter what we are doing next, we are all beginning something new. And change is good. Gandhi said it best as, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." You must want it. No matter how difficult it may be, it all starts with your mindset. So, I leave you with this. Find your strength within. Be who you are. Own who you are. Be confident in yourself and in your decisions. You and only you can be the person to reach out into the world and take control of your destiny.
As you leave tonight with diploma in hand, please try to continue to follow those 3 aspirations, while also remembering the wise advice that Mr. Hawley taught us all, and keep pointing positive. You are the main character of the movie that is your life. Be someone the audience is inspired by and the little ones can look up to. Be great, be fearless, be a dragon.
Class of 2023, would you please stand? Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, Dragons, you just graduated!
Congratulations to the class of 2023. You can watch the ceremony in its entirety right here on ONTV, or you can view it on demand on YouTube or by visiting OrionONTV.org. The mission of the Orion Art Center has always been to provide access to creative experiences for residents and artists of all ages through classes, exhibitions, and community events. Recently, the Art Center hosted an event that brought a splash of color to downtown Lake Orion. The Orion Art Center's Art and Flower Fair kicked off on the morning of Saturday, May 20th and concluded on Sunday, May 21st. More than 100 vendors lined the streets of Flint and Broadway with a heavy emphasis on art. The Art Center offered crafts for kids while visitors enjoyed food and music, and of course, there were flowers galore.
We have so many flowers. I'm very excited about that. We have 3 or 4 different flower vendors and the streets are filled, so we're very excited. It's very beautiful and I'm excited to see all the different colors. It really brightens the town up. We've had a huge turnout this year. We were actually turning away vendors. We haven't had that in quite a while, so we have been able to be a little bit more selective on our vendors too. We have a lot more art here this year, which has been a big goal of ours from the beginning, is we wanted to just infuse art into this community along with the home improvements, and we have a lot of great food vendors, so it's been great to see all the people turn out for this. We have at least 106 vendors so far. There's going to be a couple more tomorrow, so big crowd.
The sky was a bit gloomy on Saturday, but that didn't seem to keep families from coming to downtown Lake Orion. On Sunday, there was nothing but blue skies and sunshine, which brought even more visitors out. Money raised from the event allows the Art Center to serve the community.
So this all the proceeds from the vendors and the sponsors, and we'll have a beer tent tonight with live entertainment. That all directly supports the Art Center, so we can bring art into the community. We have a lot of children's programming that we're bringing to all of the events throughout the summer. It helps pay for our instructors and just keep our gallery open and doors open to artists in our area.
Now, this is a true community event. We got sponsors and vendors from all over. What do you want to say to them for helping make this possible?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the sponsors have really showed up this year. We have Genesis and MSB Bikes. I don't know if I can list all of them off right now, but the Orion Review, and everyone has just really come together, and it's great to see the community supporting this, and everyone coming out is doing crafts with our sponsors here too, so that's a new fun thing we have this year. The sponsors are all bringing free crafts to do too, so it's really great to see everyone come together.
For more information on classes, exhibits, and membership, be sure to visit OrionArtCenter.org. The arrival of warm weather means classic car buffs are uncovering their cherished rides to show them off. Recently, the car cruise season kicked off here in Lake Orion with a gathering at a local dealership that benefited a great cause.
Hey everybody, welcome to Golling Buick GMC, our first car show of the season, and what a beautiful day we have right off of M24 here in Lake Orion, Michigan. Plenty of cars, plenty of food, plenty of rock and roll music, and plenty of sunshine coming your way here today.
On Thursday, May 18th, Golling Buick GMC hosted its first car cruise of the 2023 season. Dozens of classic cars, muscle cars, and hot rods gathered at the dealership for the first of 5 cruises scheduled throughout the summer, all benefiting local nonprofit organizations.
Because it's part of our community, and we're giving to somebody who is also giving back to others, and we want to be part of that. We want to do that every time we can help somebody out. We try to do it, and these car shows expose these guys to, like, Love Inc. or last year we had the Parade Group was here. We had the veterans a lot of times. So it exposes these drivers who live in the community to know, what's going on.
Selected as the beneficiary of the first cruise of the season was Love Inc., who kept the proceeds from food sales and a 50-50 raffle.
We're so thankful they've done this for us in years past, and they haven't had them going on for a while, and Bill reached out and said, come on out and see if we can raise some money for Love in the Name of Christ, so that's why we're here. Very grateful.
What is Loving all about?
Yeah, so we want to be a connection center for folks in the community when they're struggling. We want them to call us so we can, help them figure out how they get into that situation and what resources are available to them to help get them out of that situation and move into a relationship with us, because a lot of our folks just need someone to talk to, and we want to be that person that they can reach out to when they have no one else to reach out to.
Helping to sell 50/50 raffle tickets was recently crowned Mrs. Michigan Kelly Westbrook, who also happens to be on the Love Inc. board.
The Mrs. Michigan organization is part of the Mrs. America organization. They actually have their own nonprofit, Victoria's Voice, and then we all promote a platform of ours. So when we're going through competition, all of us have a cause that we promote and that we like to benefit. So mine is struggling with chronic illness. So I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis as a child. So for me, it's really about going out and just bringing people hope and letting them know to not lose their faith through their journey, because over 50% of people in Michigan are struggling with some type of chronic illness. So it's just really about raising that awareness and trying to help people.
Golling GMC has 4 more car cruises scheduled over the next several months. The Golling Auto Rally is scheduled for Saturday, June 17th. On Saturday, July 15th, the car cruise moves over to Friendship Park, where it will benefit Miracle Field. Then on Saturday, July 29th, the Kids and Cops Cruise returns to downtown Lake Orion, and the car cruise season wraps up on Saturday, September 16th, with the Golling Super Cruise. Things are starting to ramp up over at the Orion Center, with numerous events planned over the next several months. Recently, Orion Township Parks and Rec hosted an event that encouraged residents to get active. On the morning of Sunday, May 21st, well over 250 runners and walkers gathered at the Orion Center for the start of the 27th running of Orion Township's Dragon Dash 5K. Participants made their way to the starting line near the Orion Center's entrance, and at 9 a.m. the race was underway.
3, 2, 1, go.
Why do we do it? We do it because it's a great family event. It's fun for runners to come out with their family, be outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the trail, enjoy the parks. It's just it's a good, fun if you're a runner. It's a fun event.
Does it act as a fundraiser, or does it just cover its own costs?
It really just covers its own costs. A year like this will probably bring a little bit extra in that'll help cover other expenses. Expenses for things like the concert series, things like that we bring to the community for free.
The certified course took runners and walkers out onto the Poly Inn Trail, past Scripps Road and Green Shield, to Civic Center Park. There, they turned around and made their way back to the finish line at the Orion Center. Crossing the finish line first was 30-year-old Alexander Pollock of Lake Orion, who finished with a time of 16:53.2. The first female to cross the finish line was Misty Pollock with a time of 21:08.4. Coincidentally, the husband and wife team took first place in their divisions back in 2019. Everyone who crossed the finish line got a medal, and 9 different sponsors helped make the event possible, including Buffalo Wild Wings, Genesis Credit Union, and first-time sponsor, the Orion Chamber of Commerce.
This is the first year for the Chamber. They've joined us this year as a park partner, so you're going to see their logo on a lot of my stuff. They're supporting all of our large special events this year.
For complete race results, visit runsignup.com. The Orion Area Chamber of Commerce is always looking for an excuse to celebrate local businesses, whether it's the grand opening of a brand new business or a longtime business celebrating a milestone. The Chamber is ready to go with a ribbon and scissors in hand. Recently, the business community came together to celebrate a longtime business that's under new ownership. Brinker Veterinary Hospital opened its doors in July of 1985 and has been serving Lake Orion and its surrounding communities ever since. But when Dr. Jack Brinker decided it was time to retire, one of his staff members stepped up to keep the business going. On Thursday, June 1st, the Chamber of Commerce arrived to celebrate the passing of the torch.
1, 2, 3.
Brinker Veterinary Hospital!
I've
never wanted to be anything but a veterinarian my whole life, and to just be able to be a part of this and have everybody come out is just so amazing. You know, my parents worked really hard to get me here. You know, my husband and kids kind of sacrificed a lot so that I could do this, and I really love being a part of the chamber. Their women's groups and everything have been so helpful, and to see everybody come out and be so supportive is just amazing.
Dr. Molly Hussman joined the team in January of 2021 and took over the business in February of 2022, but decided to keep the Brinker name thanks to its sterling reputation in the community.
So we see cats and dogs, no big stuff, no horses or anything like that. We do all routine and wellness, vaccines, heartworm tests and everything, but we also do soft tissue surgery, a lot of dentistry. We have ultrasound, x-ray, we do a little bit of everything here.
For more information, you can visit brinkervet.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. The clock is ticking on Blanche Sims Elementary School as construction continues on a brand new building. Meanwhile, students took part in a fun event that just weeks before the existing school closes for good. At the beginning of May, Blanche Sims Elementary School's Student Council began a drive to collect cereal boxes to donate to those in need. Students in all grades were asked to bring in cereal to help reach their goal of 400 boxes.
So these are all the cereal boxes we collected, and at the end we're going to tip them like dominoes, and then we're going to send them to Blessings in a Backpack.
Basically you had to bring in a cereal. You couldn't have bags, it had to be boxes, and they couldn't be opened. So we got a couple from the kindergarten class.
Miss Stewart started it over there. Let's give credit to her. Miss Stewart and Mrs. Heck both started it. There are student council leaders. They thought, hey, why don't we do something else for those in need? So we decided, hey, why not? We started working on getting them all collected May 1st, actually. We started collecting them May 1st, then we ended May 10th. And then ever since May 10th, we've been putting all the cereal boxes together, counting them up. The goal was to get 400, and if we got 400, we got 422. 450, really? Oh, that's the last I saw was 422. I stand corrected. If we got 400 at least, we would be doing a cereal box domino.
We saw last year this cool initiative where another school in another state decided to collect cereal boxes for the needy and then have a special surprise for their school and do a domino effect with it after they collected the cereal boxes. So we pulled our student council together. They made signs. We told the students if we raised 400, or if we brought in 400 boxes, then the school would have a special surprise. The school does not know what the surprise is, so they are all curiously waiting to see the boxes fall. And we are donating all the boxes back to our community for our Blessings in a Backpack program, who feeds needy kids in our district.
3, 2, 1.
It was the first and last time the cereal drive was held in this building. School administration, staff, and students are hoping to move into the brand new building for the start of the 2023-24 school year. And with that, we'll wrap up this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Thanks for watching.